Hey y'all. So I got a word. I've also got a cold. I guess I was due for something, but it is what it is. Um the Lord was just speaking all day yesterday through everything. And this is about the dinner, the dining month, okay? It's dining month, right? It's it's we have labored, right? We have labored. The laboring is the hardest part. Okay, that's why it's been so hard. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And that's because of how hard it is. People don't want to labor because it is hard, and you want to give up. And not everybody gets there, right? But for those who have labored and stood true, no matter what the circumstances were, um, now you get to enjoy your harvest. And y'all, sometimes I was at breakfast yesterday, and this place is significant. God has used this place over the last several years to speak to me, this breakfast place, okay? And the person whom I was eating breakfast with, God spoke through, right? And this person was literally like, looks like you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was like, and not only that, but there was a newborn baby sitting next to me. And and it was crying. That's just what newborns do. Not all of them, but some newborns are quiet. But babies cry, and it was this newborn baby, and it's like, happy birthday. And this person was like, looks like you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They didn't even know what they were saying when they said it, but I knew it was God speaking immediately. And then, like, shortly after that, though, I see the dining month card that I made a post about. And it just said dining month. And there was a word on it, like, I think it was Amelia or something like that. Y'all have to go back and look at it. But someone made a comment under that and said that meant labor. That word meant labor. And I didn't even know that. I was like, whoa. Because as I was typing out the post, I was just typing as God was speaking to me. And so I didn't even know what I was saying. I just knew he was like, make a post. And then I just start typing. And I was basically talking about how you've labored, everything I just said in the beginning of the video. And it happens to mean labor. I was just like, whoa. And then the videos start popping back up. And that I post last year on YouTube. And it was talking about how the tables are turning and it's harvest time and all of the things. And I was speaking on like how, the table, blessings for obedience, I think, and curses for disobedience. I can't remember what book I was in that video. But it was talking about blessings for obedience, curses for disobedience, I believe, and how the tables are turning, and it only looked one way for so long. Y'all, I even saw this place yesterday that is called Browning, but the tree limb, I'll have to post the picture. The tree limb intentionally was covering the B, and it only showed the C, so all I saw was crowning. And then, y'all, this is the craziest thing. So I felt led to go to the gas station the other day and get this chocolate bar, this Dubai chocolate bar. I've only had this bar one time. I mean, I've had a lot of Dubai chocolates. All of them are different, but this particular bar I've only had one time. It's expensive. I don't know. I just felt an urgency to go to the gas station and get this chocolate bar, right? It's $20 for this chocolate bar. I was like, it is what it is. I was just being obedient to what God was telling me to do. So I get there, and it's this guy, and he's talking about the Florida State and Alabama game, right? So I chime in. My favorite football team is Alabama. I'm back and forth between Georgia, Alabama, but Alabama's my team out of the both of them, like my number one team. And so I don't know if y'all watch football, but the Florida State Alabama game last week. We just ain't gonna even talk about it, okay? But I chime in, we're cutting up about it, whatever. I grab the chocolate bar. I'm like, I'm gonna get this bar. The guy literally, he's like, he pays for the chocolate bar. But he also had given me a fist pump. The fist pump was significant, okay? And so, and this was a black man, okay? So then my friend, a few days later, she goes to the store. We're on the phone yesterday, and it's a black man in the parking lot, and he's like waving at her, and she's like, "What? Do you want the cart that I'm pushing around?" Or he's like, he comes up and he fist pump her. I was on the phone with her. I was like, "What the heck?" Because that just happened to me. The same thing happened to me a few days ago, and she said something about a purple heart. He was wearing like something that said Purple Heart on it, and then it literally immediately took me back to my Purple Heart perfume that I keep mentioning. And the lid on it is literally a crown, and underneath the crown on the lid is a ring. And it's called Princess Perfume. And God just started speaking. And I've been seeing 555 all over again. I'm like, oh my God, I see what's happening. Like, it's the crowning moment. It's that Cinderella moment where Cinderella went to sleep, right? And she went to sleep poor. She went to sleep, just and woke up in a completely different place, right? She went from rags to riches. She went from the pit to the palace, right? All overnight it happened, right? She only looked one way for so long until she didn't look that way anymore, right? And essentially the table was prepared in front of her enemies, and her enemies was her stepmom and her stepsisters, right? They treated her like trash, okay? She was low. She felt the lowest of the lowest, right? But she stayed humble, and she believed, right? She had faith that one day, that's where her peace came from. She kept such inner peace, even though she was in the situation she was in. She kept her inner peace. She had faith that one day she wasn't going to be like in that situation anymore. And then her prince came. They get married. She moves into the palace. Boom. The crowning, okay? And another thing I want to mention is that, number one, it's time. It's time. And God needs you to get into position, okay? God needs you to get into position. I saw this thing yesterday that literally said, blurry vision, we're here. Emergency room, signs ready. And then I passed insight. And so, hold on. Had to sneeze. So, essentially, as I've been posting, there has been, and it brought me back to a dream that I had. And I was essentially, in this dream, I was trying to give my friend revelation because I said in the dream, I said, you're about to give birth to a baby boy. And I was having these bobcats, okay, attack me, which represented adversaries. And I was trying to give her instruction for this birth, but I was being attacked. So I wasn't being able to give her that instruction. And what God has been showing me, even through her and myself, is that as of lately, the enemy has been attacking our vision and our sight. And he's tried to keep us out of position so that we can't give birth to this thing, right? Because in order to give birth, you have to be in a particular position. Like for me, I had to, this is like weird, but with my second birth, I had to sit up as if I was sitting on a toilet to give birth. That's the only way I don't, my first birth, I gave birth just laid down in a bed just like I am now. But with my second, I literally had to sit up as if I was sitting on a toilet. It was the weirdest thing. But that's what he said. You have to be sitting upright, right? You have to be spirit filled. And you got to guard your eye gates and ear gates. And you have to have everything in alignment and everything into position to push this baby out. Because if not, you could end up like me last week, where I just completely backslid. I was doing things out of character, and I literally almost forfeited everything. Like, it was so, when I say it was so bad, but I want to also kind of give a little bit of encouragement on that even. Like, I've talked about it. Y'all know what happened last week. But the turnaround rate for things was like quick. And I've never seen anything like that. Usually when me and my spouse get into it like that, like what happened last week, it's like we got to start from zero again. We got everything. But listen, God was speaking through some numbers yesterday. And so he flew back yesterday, y'all. He flew back home. And the original flight time that he was supposed to depart at, all right, was 5:37, which means withered, languishing, feeble, okay, like weak. But the actual time his delayed flight time, it was delayed, okay, was at 7:25. Now, 7:25 took me to Matthew 7:25, which says, "The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock." This time around, see, the original flight that you and your spouse took, right? That original flight, y'all took that flight on a foundation that was not built on God, okay? That's why everything withered, right? That's why everything was weak and it fell and it got destroyed. It was torn down. It couldn't stand, okay? That house could not stand because that foundation was not built on God. Now, the next flight, the delayed flight, it might have been delayed due to all of those things, but it came, right? And this time, right, it can't be torn down because this time you've done things, you're doing things in God's order. This time you're building this house on the rock, on Christ. So when the rain comes, when the wind blows, right, like it did last week, it's not going to fall and crumble like it did before. It's strong. And it showed how strong it was because, like I said, I was actually shocked at what happened, like following that big blow up, because usually we don't turn around like that. We don't just pick it up and, like, I was like, what? But God's like, happy birthday. Happy birthday. And it really is time. Like, this year, remember, guys, it is the year of Jubilee, right? Debts are forgiven and there's just blessings and all of the things. And this happens like every 50 years, I believe. And so that's why these things are happening this year. But God has been making these promises, y'all. And we've been in the wilderness. We've been wandering. We've been laboring. We've been doing all the things. And now, just like Christ showed up, Jesus showed up for the Israelites and delivered them out of the wilderness. He delivered them out of Egypt, out of the oppression. And that's what he's done with us. And then he came and he delivered us. He brought us through the wilderness, right? And we've been going through that, right? Now he's crossing us into that promised land. And it's not just one or two of us. It's so many. It's all of us, y'all. So, it's so, I wouldn't say all of us. It's so many of us, okay? And so he's showing up, he's showing out. He's like, it's time. Like, the head waiter, I got that a few weeks ago again. The head waiter, right? The table's prepared. And now it's time for the head waiter to come out and serve these dishes to you. And it's a breakfast, it's a lunch, it's a dinner, it's a dessert, it's the full course, right? It's prepared and it's time for you to eat. And so, but the thing is, on the other end of that, on the other end of your blessings and all of the things that God's about to feed you, right? Your enemies, okay, like my friend, she saw the rat, y'all. She saw the dead rat again yesterday. And as a matter of fact, Okay, so where I was at, I saw this moldy bread yesterday. I saw this moldy bread, like blue. It was blue. It was gray. It was moldy as heck. Like I've never seen something so molded before. And within minutes, my friend, going back to the phone call about the Purple Heart and all that, she originally called me because she ran into someone. She ran into who God has been referring to as the rat, right? The Jezebel, the person, the counterfeit, the one, the whole, but it's not the person, y'all. Remember, it's the spirit operating within that person. It's that spirit, it's the enemy who has been stealing all of the promises from you because it was the counterfeit, right? It was the counterfeit. Like if this was a spouse, right, that's had babies with someone else and all the things, it's just been the enemy stealing those things from you, right? And so anyway, she runs into this person who is considered the rat in the situation, right? The spirit behind it, not the person. And so she runs into this person on the bread aisle right after I see this moldy bread. And I see this happy birthday bag that's literally blue and gray. It literally says happy birthday on it. And she calls me and she's like, I don't know why I ran into this person, blah, 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 but I'm mad and all this stuff. She said I ran into her on the bread aisle, right? And I'm like, that's crazy because I just threw out some moldy bread. And what God was showing through that, he's preparing the table. The table is set. He's not preparing it no more. It's set, okay? In the presence of your enemies, okay? And you're going to be served fresh bread, fresh food, fresh fruit, all fresh and ripe and goodness, right? But the enemies are going to be, their prepared table isn't going to look the same. It's the opposite. Curses for disobedience, right? And blessings for obedience, curses for disobedience. And that's what's happening. So the tables are turning. It's like it looked one way until it didn't, right? And so like happy birthday to y'all, right? But happy birthday to the enemies. Their happy birthday isn't so happy. It's blue, it's gray, it's moldy, it's rotten, okay? Their fruit is, you're gonna be reaping what you've sown, essentially, right? And so the tables, they're turning. And now, one of the things that God was showing me about being in position, y'all, he brought me back to the analogy that he gave me last year. And it's about the weeds. And this is going to help regain your vision and get you into position. Remember, you can't eat unless you're in position, right? Like with me last week, I was angry at my spouse. I was allowing the enemy to get in my head, right? And I ruined. We were literally steps away from dinner and a date and all of the things. And I forfeited it because the enemy got in my head. And you don't get time back, you know? Like, and he totally stole that from me that day. I allowed him to. We were steps away from dinner. Steps away from dinner. And then we turned around and left because this big blow up thing happened, right? Never made it to the dinner. But the turnaround rate, right? Remember, because now the foundation is built on Christ. And that's what y'all are about to experience if you haven't already started to. But you can't eat. You see, I was out of position. Therefore, I didn't get to eat. I didn't. So in order for you to be able to eat at this prepared table, you have to be in position. In order to give birth, you have to be in the correct position. Everything has to be in alignment. Not perfect. God's not looking for perfection. He just needs you in alignment and in position. And the way that you get in position, the way that he showed me last night is like the spirit, you need to be spirit-filled, number one. Spirit-filled. And you need to plow the land. You need to plow the land. After harvest happens, after you're done harvesting, that's what we've been doing. We've been laboring. We've been collecting our harvest, right? We've been laboring our harvest. After harvesting is finished and complete, right? They plow the land. They till up the soil and overturn the soil. And that's what God needs you to do right now. He needs you to till up the soil, fluff up the soil. And when you do that, you're pretty much creating air. You're aerating the soil so that there's air. The spirit can breathe within you, right? And when I say the spirit, I mean the Holy Spirit. That's the only spirit I'm talking about. And when Holy Spirit can breathe within you, you can receive revelation and instruction with a clear mind, with a clear direction, right? But when Holy Spirit cannot breathe within you, when you're not filled with Holy Spirit, you're not getting the instruction that you need, right? And the direction that you need, because Holy Spirit cannot breathe within you. So by doing so, you're creating that environment the Holy Spirit can fill you, right? That's what Holy Spirit is there for. It's like your little guide, your helper, right? But Holy Spirit can't help you if he can't breathe within you, right? So that's number one. Number two, by fluffing up, like tilling the soil, plowing the land, you are uprooting weeds, okay? Spiritual weeds. And what has happened lately is that the soil has just become overfilled with weeds, spiritual weeds. And what those spiritual weeds can look like is doubt, anger, confusion, lies of the enemy, just a lack of faith. And so all of the truth that God is trying to show you in this time, that he needs you to see, it has been overtaken by weeds, spiritual weeds, okay? And that's why you can't see. And weeds, they grow fast, and they grow in abundance. They just multiply and multiply and multiply. So when you're not plucking up those weeds, they're just growing and growing and growing. And now they've grown to the point where they're overbearing the roots, right? They actually suffocate the roots of the plants, and they can stunt the growth of whatever plant is there, right? Spiritual weeds, that's a whole nother, but you need to, by plowing the land, right, you're uprooting all of those spiritual weeds. And once you clean all this out and you aerate the soil where you can be filled with the Spirit, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit's going to be able to give you that. You'll be able to regain your sight and your vision, and you'll be able to receive that revelation and that instruction that you need, that he's trying to show you, right? That's how you can get yourself into position right now. Completely wholeheartedly realigning your vision, your heart, your mind, all of it to what Jesus is showing you, and what Jesus is showing you only, by removing all of the lies of the enemy, all the doubt, all the confusion, all of those things, and just realigning everything. That's how you're going to get yourself into position, right? And one of the ways that you can do that is by fasting. Like, he's really big on the fasting right now. There's so much that, and yesterday, like I said, I had gotten blurry vision. We're here, emergency room, signs are ready, insight. So, just head over to the ER, the emergency room, and God's going to help you with your vision. Okay, the signs are ready, they're put into place. He's ready to give you that insight. It's there, it's on standby. And you just need to go sit in the ER so that he can bring you back and clean that glaze or whatever it is over your eyes. That's all the roots and all of the things. He needs to get it off of you and out of you so that you can see clearly. And so then you can eat, because the table's prepared. It's no longer God's preparing this table. No, it's prepared and it's time for you to eat. You just have to get into position. That's it. And that's how. And again, with like the baby, you're birthing out this baby, and you just have to be into position. And that flight that was delayed before, that flight, This is a new season, new vibes. That's what I got. New season, new vibes with the number 604, which means to reconcile in the Strongs. And y'all, um, I had also been seeing 444 a lot yesterday, and then I saw 444 on the same sign that I saw complete. It's completed. And Solomon, I saw right after that. And then I had seen plateau, which a plateau is, it's actually called a tableland. And it's high elevation. So he's placing you on this plateau. This is your table. You're elevated, you're elevating, right? And he's placing you into this land of elevation, and it's a prepared table where you sit and eat in the presence of your enemies. It's a new season, new vibes. He's reconciling you. This is a season of reconciliation, and it's dining month, y'all. It's dining month. It's the crowning, it's the Cinderella moment. And also, um I noticed that the biggest breakthroughs of my life, okay, haven't had very many, like the big ones. Um, but when there is a big breakthrough that's about to take place, I will start seeing like all of these numbers: 555, 777, 222, 333, all of those. And it's not angel numbers. These numbers are meaningful, like biblically. I do not do angel numbers. Um, and I've been seeing all of those numbers. And um it's time. You know what? Yesterday I saw 33. I've been seeing 333, 33. And I have been seeing 444. I've been seeing 222. I've been seeing 555, 777, 1111. I've been seeing 1717 a lot too. 1717 in the Strong's Concordance means manifestation. It's complete. It's new beginnings. It's an open door, because 444 means open doors, right? And it's multiple fours. It's multiple doors that are opening. 888, new beginnings, multiple new beginnings happening, right? New life. 777, that's completion, triple, right? Completion. 222, I think, but God's been showing me 222 in reference to Daniel 2:22. And that's just, he makes known the deep and hidden things, I believe, which is what he's trying to do right now. He's not only is he doing that with you, but he's also doing that with your spouse. Everything's coming into alignment. Everything is being made manifest now in the physical. No longer is it in the spiritual. No longer are you hearing about these things and not seeing them. You're going to see them with your eyes. It's time, okay? And so this is just more confirmation. Plus, I saw Ruth and Boaz yesterday on my Instagram thing, and I'll have to make a post about that, of the picture, but I screenshot it, and at the top it said 3 and then 222. Genesis 2:22. Ruth and Boaz. It's happening. It's really happening. And I've been seeing the ram in the bush over and over and over again for like days. God is sending that ram. It's a new season. It's new vibes. It's time to eat. It's dining month. It's time. It's complete, right? And this time, it's built. This house is being built on the rock, on Christ, and it will not fall. Just know it will not fall. And yeah, that's the word. I probably have another video I'll release once I get further Oh, I also kept saying, I love you. I love you. I love you. And love, the number 20, I forgot what the number was in Strong's, but it meant love. And then I just kept hearing, I love you. I love you. I love you yesterday. So I got to add that in there too. But yeah, that is it, y'all. I pray this gets to the people that it needs to get to. I pray it encourages you. I pray it confirms something for you. Be excited. It's celebration time. Yeah, if y'all feel led to sow, the information's always there in the description box. I thank y'all for the seeds that y'all sow. I pray God bless you in return for those seeds. I pray that y'all have a blessed week this week, and I will see you on my next video. Okay, bye.